Well, it's hard to match the passion of the three previous speakers. I'll do my best and try not to be repetitive. Let me just say a few things. I'm Daryl Hennessey, running for Columbus City Council. Kathy, you said you're looking for changes, and if they don't make changes, then we're going to make a change. Well, we're all here today. We're all running for Columbus City Council, and we're all running for mayor because we think it's time for change in the city of Columbus. So we support, or we appreciate the fact that you're here, and we appreciate your support for change in our city as well. Mike, you had indicated that if elected to Columbus City Council, I'm likely to see your face, and hear your voice, whatever. But and that's important. But you know what? You ought to see my face in this neighborhood. You ought to hear my voice in this neighborhood. We've lost sight of who the customer is. I'm a small business owner. I know who the customer is. You're the voter. You're the customer. I can assure you, you will see my face. You will hear my voice. And then, John, you had indicated that if you lack the experience to be a member or to be a chair of any particular committee, don't do it. I think it's highly unlikely that Mr. Ginther will appoint me to be the chair of any committee if elected to Columbus City Council. So, although I do think I'm qualified, I'd like to say
maybe the elected chair.
Well, maybe the elected chair. Let me just say a couple of things. President Ginther called this a political stunt, and I thought it was just me that he was talking to about political stunts. Earlier this year, I had made a series of recommendations, constructive recommendations, about how the impact of the casino, what the impact of the casino would have on our community, and how we could prepare the safety, the infrastructure, the workforce development, job creation. Sent that to Columbus City Council, got no response whatsoever. When pressed on it, I think Doug pressed him, they basically said it's a political stunt. I said, okay. Later this year, I developed a proposed budget for the city of Columbus. 2 years ago, the tax hike went into effect. We're spending more than we receive in annual income already. We have a structural deficit in effect next year. They're already going to start talking about laying off police and fire as a way to threaten you. And I said to them, there's a better way to manage the city's budget. So I had gone line by line through the city budget, preserved our safety forces, provided code enforcement assistance, made sure that questioned how they were deploying our existing police force, and did a series of other recommendations. Dead silence from Columbus City Council until Doug asked them, and they said, well, it's a political stunt. Now, I don't know about you, and I think actually they called it, Matt was trying to get a voice in front of Columbus City Council. I think they told him that it was a political stunt. Well, I'll tell you this. Columbus City Council is the primary policy-making board in the city of Columbus. And all they have to say to any constructive suggestions, whether it's from a neighborhood or whether it's from a candidate, all they have to say basically is it's a political stunt. Well, to me, that's an indication that there is no substantive policy work coming out of Columbus City Council.
That's right.
And there has been none coming out of Columbus City Council for far too long. And you're right, when it comes to the city budget, Columbus City Council is the one that approves the funding level. You know what? And they're the ones who are supposed to provide oversight of the administration and the executive branch. They're the ones who should be setting the policy in terms of how the funds are spent. And it's the administration's job to determine then how to carry out that responsibility. So I don't know if what Columbus, our city leaders in Columbus, I don't know if their failure to act is an indication of gross negligence, utter incompetence, or complete indifference to our neighbors. But regardless of what it is, it has to change. We absolutely have to make a change. And so again, I hope you'll consider me for Columbus City Council. I'm a neighborhood guy. I will come to this position with a neighborhood first perspective. I've been a neighborhood volunteer on the west side of town in the Greater Hilltop area for 20 years. What I would say is this. They say it's unconstitutional, the loitering law in the city of Columbus. I say it's unconscionable that they're not even trying to fix it.
That's right.
Particularly
That's right.
in light of the fact that the courts have already told them what they could do to fix it. It's unconscionable that they're not trying to fix it. Given the technology advances that we have in our city, it's unacceptable to me that you have to run downtown, match records, public or paper records, in order to identify the crime that has occurred in your neighborhood, this neighborhood or any other neighborhood. It's completely unacceptable. We need to fix that, and we will fix that if you elect the individuals that are in this room today. We need to support our block watches around the city. You guys are fantastic over here on the Near East side and the South side as well. We think we've got some pretty good ones on the West side, but you know what? We can definitely share some best practices across the city. we can improve our block watches, we can help our police fight crime. We can and we should be doing that kind of stuff as well. And the final thing I would say is that we need to fix our workforce development system in this city. For the first-time offender who's trying to find an opportunity back in a meaningful employment opportunity, we need to fix that system so they're connecting that individual with an employer who has a job opportunity, so they realize that that they can be a productive contributor to this society, that they don't have to commit to a life of crime. And we spend millions of dollars on our workforce development system, and it's absolutely broken in the system, and it's morally offensive to me that we have not fixed that yet. So we're here standing up for change. I hope you'll remember us. Earl Smith for mayor, Matt Ferris, Bob Bridges, Daryl Hennessey for Columbus City Council. You'll see our faces. We'll be back. I guarantee. Regardless, we'll be back. Thank you.
I just want to take this opportunity to thank everyone for coming out. We're going to wrap up here in just a few seconds. One thing.
I asked to say one thing. You know what? It's really hard for me to cross party lines. I see that the R word, but I'm just asking that people vote intelligently. I think that this is the one time I am going to cross party lines, because the last time we had any opposing voice was when Jeanette Bradley was on council, and it stopped the rubber stamping downtown. Rubber stamp, rubber stamp. We need some checks and balances, so I'm asking everybody to just, you know what?
Wait a minute, let me point out, it is not a tattoo. I make my own decision.
Yes. So,
Party doesn't know me.
thank you.
And just to piggyback off what you said, and it's nothing that I haven't already said or made public knowledge, I'm a lifelong Democrat. This will be the first year that it will not be that way. When you go to vote, all I'm asking that you do, think about what you're seeing. We cannot continue in this city for 4 more years of this. We deserve better. We're not animals on the Near East Side and South Side. We are human beings, and we deserve the respect and the dignity that is shown to the residents who live downtown and any other part of this city. So when you go to vote, use your head, remember the movies. Thank you very much for coming.